UFC 239 there. Got the big boys in, UFC boys. We've got DaveBets and we've got Jason Paglia from The Sports Keg. Nice and both on the same time. Hello, boys. How you doing? Can't hear Rafa. Takes a second. There we go. How you doing, boys?
Good. What's up, Nat?
All is good. All is good. It's Wednesday, and we've got some great, I don't know if you were hearing, got some great bets for African Cup of Nations. Jason, do you dabble in football betting, soccer betting?
I tell Dave occasionally, and the USA women have been treating me very well.
I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have. Dave, have you been dabbling in Africa Cup of Nations? There's certainly some good value. We've been getting some good bets in. We're at Africa Cup of Nations, the Gold Cup, and Copa America. Have you been dabbling in any of those?
Here and there. I've been adding a few games to parlays, but because I haven't spent that much time researching, I haven't put aside a bankroll and done it the correct way. But yeah, I should have tailed myself last night because I told Jay. Jay asked me what I thought about the Brazil-Argentina game. I said under 2.5 goals and Brazil 2-0, and look what happened. So I probably should have just listened to myself last night, but oh wow.
I know, it's always good to it's easy to give advice, but very hard to follow your own advice. I have that problem generally, so no worries on that one. Okay, so we've got UFC here. And obviously the main event, and John Jones is a huge favourite at 1.18 against Thiago Santos. Jason, you wrote the main preview of this over at oddsmarket.com. Is that a fair price for John Jones? Is there any chance that Thiago Santos could pull the upset?
Is it a fair price? Yeah, it's fair.
Do you think it's fair?
But I would never tell anybody to lay it. The article's not up yet, but I mean, I hate John Jones. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time, but he's just bad at being a human being. But I mean, as an MMA fighter, he's got no weaknesses. He's the ultimate well-rounded MMA fighter. He always has a height and a reach advantage. He has striking power, pinpoint accuracy in every limb, great takedown defense, underrated Brazilian jiu-jitsu, a solid chin, and he's got really good fight IQ. By the time his opponents figure him out, they're either down 3 rounds or they've already lost the fight. Now, on the flip side, Thiago Santos is a good striker. He's got accuracy. I worried about his power and how it would translate in the new weight class, but it's transitioned pretty well. He's 3-0 in the division. He's got a solid counter game. He's worked hard on his combinations the last 2 years. Solid wrestling. Bad on his back, though. He'll lose the fight for 2 reasons. One, he's got a glass jaw. He's been knocked out easily in the past by similar weight classes. So if John knocks on that chin and hits the button, it's over. And the second reason is if it goes to the mat, he's really bad on the bottom, and John's got really underrated BJJ. So I didn't give a pick in the fight because it's a tough call between will he win by submission or will he win by knockout. But I gave a lean, and it was a knockout at 2.60. Just the lean, though.
Yeah. What do you mean by glass jaw? That it's been broken so many times now that like...
It's just so what it means is it's just easy to knock him out.
Yeah.
Like if you tap the chin, he just drops.
Wow. Can't they put some like steel plates in there to like help it, or would that be like illegal?
That'd be worse.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, that would be worse. Yeah.
Is there anything, Dave, that Thiago Santos could do to pull up the upset? Is there? He knows who he's getting into the ring with. Is there something that he can do to pull up?
There's loads of things that could happen. John could break his leg. He could get the flu. He could get disqualified. That's the only way John Jones loses this fight. John Jones has 1 loss on his record, and that loss was a disqualification because he landed illegal elbows. This is the only type of way Thiago Santos is going to win this fight, in my opinion. I can't see John Jones the undefeated light heavyweight champion losing to a former fighter who used to weigh in at welterweight, which is three weight divisions below. So I can't see any way Thiago Santos can defeat John Jones on Saturday. And to be honest, I can't see anybody in the division defeating John Jones ever. I don't think there's any chance this guy loses anytime soon, unless he has a serious injury, or he fights and hides an injury. Then I can't see him losing. A healthy John Jones is not a loser ever.
So why would Thiago Santos agree to this, to getting into the ring with this ultimate fighting machine of John Jones? Is it purely to do with money, or does he feel that maybe he has a chance?
I don't think there's many fighters on the roster that would turn down a championship fight. It's what every UFC martial artist, their main goal is to win championships.
Okay.
Whether that be in the UFC or in their specialized martial arts, they wanna be the best at what they do. So the only way to be the best is to beat the best. And Thiago Santos, I wouldn't say he's beat the best. I'd say he's definitely earned his title shot. His previous 3 fights, he's won them all by TKO. That's impressive in itself. He's fought some big dudes as well. Eric Anders was a big guy. Jimmy Manoir, big guy. Jan Blachowicz, big guy. But yeah, none of them are John Jones. None of them guys are John Jones. And he's got that, like Jay said, he's got that jaw that can get popped. There's a guy called David Branch that knocked him out in the first round. I can see John doing the exact same thing, or even taking this fight to the floor, sweeping him straight onto the floor, and then locking up any submission he wants, choke, armbar, whatever.
All right. So Jason's given a lead, and there's an article series that Jason Paglia is doing. It's called Squared Up, and I believe that this one's. I think they'll both be up today anyway. So if you just go onto oddsmarket.com, UFC on the UFC page. So Jason's obviously got a lean there. John Jones by TKO at 2.7. Do you have any thoughts, leans for the fight?
No, I'd just follow what Jay's doing, because he's been nailing the Squared Up series, and he puts a lot of work into it and a lot of research. It's not just, let me check who's winning, who everybody else thinks about. Hours of research goes into this, and Jay breaks it down more than anyone else I know. So if I was gonna take anything in this fight, I'd probably tail Jay, because it's John Jones or nothing. And if you want a decent price, you're gonna have to take a prop. There's no two ways about it. Mm-hmm. Trying to predict the round is not easy in martial arts, because you never know what's going on in a fighter's head. We don't know if John wants to take it easy. We don't know if John wants to finish it quick. We just don't have them answers. We don't know if Thiago is going to come out guns blazing, or if he's going to play it safe like Anthony Smith did in the previous fight with John Jones, and play it cautious. Because if he plays it cautious, we might see another decision victory on our hands. But I'd probably avoid trying to guess what round it ends in. But a TKO prop, submission prop, is definitely worth looking at for this fight.
All right, so it sounds like what John Jones wants, John Jones will get in this fight, whether he wants to just have a little bash around for a few rounds, if he wants to just get it over in one round. What John Jones wants, he's going to get. Okay. Another big fight, moving over to the ladies now, Holly Holm versus Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes 1.29, Holly Holm's 4.3. This is a very popular fight on the card, but many people obviously fancying Amanda here to win. I did see somebody on the comments here, Mississippi Kid, Nunes win by TKO at plus 175. Jason, that is your tip as well.
Yep, it is my favorite bet since we started the series.
Wow.
I will make my largest MMA bet that I've made in a really long time on this fight. Holly Holm, she's a good fighter. She's probably one of the 5 best women in the sport. She's a former boxer. She's an excellent striker. Because of her boxing career, her movement in the cage is excellent. She cuts the angles well. She's constantly in a state of perpetual motion. Outside of that, her clinch game is average. Her ground game and her BJJ are basically non-existent. Across from her on Saturday is Amanda Nunes, okay? I feel fortunate as an MMA fan to be alive while this chick is in the cage.
Cool.
She is the greatest women's MMA fighter in the history of the sport. She is a devastating striker. She's a black belt with a killer ground game. She's got a fantastic chin. She's got power that we've never seen before from a female fighter. She destroyed Miesha Tate to win her first championship in a round. She defended her title against Ronda Rousey, beat her so bad she put her into retirement and sent her to the WWE. And then in her last fight, it took her 51 seconds to knock out the most feared women's MMA fighter for the last decade in Chris Cyborg. And then she won her second championship at a different weight class. The argument is Amanda Nunes fat and happy now? Can Holly Holmes catch her sleeping and snuff her out? The answer is no. She's now chasing immortality. She is now cementing her legacy, and she will destroy this chick. I'm laying the 330 big, and I'm also going big on by TKO at plus 150.
Well,
nailed it.
So if we don't see you next week, you're off on your yacht, sailing around, having fun, maybe doing a bit of filming.
Saturday night, you're going to see Dave and I celebrating on the Fightcast. That's what you're going to see.
And will you be live? Are you live streaming on the Sports Keg?
Yep, we're going to have our Fightcast going. Dave and I will be live betting, breaking the card down all night long. It'll be fun.
Yeah. The Sports Keg YouTube channel. Go check them. Go check these boys out for the fight there. All right, I'm all like with all your going heavies. So basically, unit betting is just out of the window on this card. This is where you. All right.
Nat, I'm like 7,000 deep in this fight.
Oh goodness. Okay. Oof, I'll be rooting for you, Dave. Are you on the same page?
I certainly am. Amanda Nunes. Jay said it all. There's nothing really I can add to what he said. She's the best female fighter we've ever seen. She's done all the best names in multiple weight divisions. Sarah McMahon, Valentina Shevchenko, the current flyweight champion. Amanda has beat her twice. Miesha Tate, Ronda Rousey, Raquel Pennington, and then obviously the woman who was the #1 fighter and undefeated in over 10 years. I think it was 14 years or something crazy. She knocked her out like she was anyone. She made her look like she was anyone else on the roster. And this woman hadn't been defeated in forever. Amanda Nunes comes through and see you later. There's nothing I can add. Jay hit everything straight on the head. That's it. Amanda Nunes by devastating TKO, or I can see Holly running for 5 rounds, but she's still going to lose by decision anyway. So,
all right. Yeah. All right. Well, goodness me, I'll be rooting for you guys. Is there any other fights on the card, do you think? I'm having a quick scan here from your Dogs and Their Odds article. For those watching, I've put the link to both actually. Jason's main fight preview is not up yet. It was probably being working on, but Holly Holm versus Amanda Nunes is. So I've put the link to that. I've also put the link to your punching parlay. You have got 2 bets, which, to be honest with you, are fantastic prices for single bets as well. So what are you liking as well on the for Saturday's matches?
The dogs are slim again. Over the past month or so, the odds have been pretty wild, and the favourites have been heavy favourites. So this week, what I did again is same as I did not last week, the week before. I looked for a decent prop, which I thought would be just as good as taking the underdog. So we got underdog odds, but it's not technically the underdog that will be back in. It's Claudia Gadelha versus Randa Markos, and it's a wrestler versus wrestler, and it's just a stronger wrestler that's going to win the fight, and that will be Claudia Gadelha by decision, though. If you take her by decision, you'll get her at plus 105, 2.06 on the decimal. Gadelha, she's never been finished. She has the advantage in all the grappling statistics. And I just think it's going to be a scrappy fight, scrappy decision, and Claudia's hand will be raised by the end of it, in my opinion.
All right. And Jason, do you agree with that? Have you got anything on that match, or you've basically just blown your whole bankroll on Nunes?
No, I think Dave nailed it. Yeah, I already bet his punching parlay. I think Claudia Gadelha wins by decision. 6 of 9 fights that Markos has won have been by way of decision. 50% of the fights that Gadelha's won have been by way of decision. So I think the way that these two women fight, I think it's almost impossible that Claudia Gadelha, who's the better fighter, wins by decision. I think he nailed it.
You guys are
both ladies have faced. They've both faced similar opponents as well. They've both faced the same opponents 4 times, and out of them 4 fights, Randa has lost 2 of them in which Claudia won, which was Carolina and Courtney Casey. So, if you want to use MMA math, which is not the best way to handicap, it kind of shows you that Claudia's beaten the competition that Randa has struggled with. And yeah, Ronda's been doing well. And to be honest, if she was ever going to win this type of fight, it probably would be now, because I think she's at her peak right now. I don't think she can get any better than she already is. If she is going to win, it probably would be this weekend, but I just can't see the former title contender, top 5 ranked female, Claudia, losing to Randa Markos. I just can't see it happening.
All right. Yeah, you guys are like brothers from another mother on this one. Like you're all
every week.
Thinking, like, I know it's quite, but it's quite reassuring from say the bettor's point of view. Listening to what you're going for, and you're both collectively going for the same thing. That sort of fills me with confidence. All right, so let's start to wrap things up here. Dave Bets, what is on your cards for this weekend?
Okay, so we've got obviously dogs in our odds. What I just mentioned, Gadelha by decision, 2.06 on the decimal, plus 105. I also like Alejandro Perez. He is a big underdog at plus 188, 2.88 on the decimal. Who else did I pick? I gave a bonus tip on dogs in their odds as well. A girl who hasn't been with the UFC very long, Pani Kianzad. Sorry if I butchered your name. She is also a big underdog at 3.00, plus 200. And then there's the punch and parlay, which should be out at some point today. And we're going to take Luke Rockhold, Amanda Nunes, and Ben Askren on the punch and parlay. And we get a price of... I'll have to check what that price is. Give me a second. 2.91 plus 191 on the punch and parlay this week.
Cool. All right.
And that's all I've got so far.
Yeah. No, I like it.
What you don't see, Nat, is Dave and I in Telegram for hours every night, breaking every card down to a fine powder. Every night.
I know. I was wondering, you guys. I know, because some of the things you've been saying, it sounds like you guys like communicate and share information about. That's great. Just sort of like strengthening knowledge.
I've also been going on Kegcast quite a lot, so we get to talk on there as well when it's 5-hour show.
Yeah.
There's always plenty to talk about.
Yeah, I sometimes like you guys are not on a Friday. I always get the little notification it's a Friday. I've usually got like my glass of wine in my hand or something, and I think I got a message one time. I was like, oh, I'm sat here with my glass of wine watching you guys and just listening to the remembrance, to like the wealth of knowledge. All right, so Jason Paglia from the Sports Keg, you're basically putting your entire bankroll and more into Amanda Nunes by TKO at 2.48.
Well, not the whole bankroll. That's poor bankroll management. We don't preach that on this show.
I know.
But yeah, I'm going to be on her money line. I'm going to be on her by TKO.
Yeah.
I'm tailing Dave on Gadelha by decision at plus 110. Dave and I both agreed Askren by decision at plus 110. and I bet his punching parlay. And as of right now, at this moment, that's it.
Cool.
It will be live betting. Anything else will probably be live betting on the Kedcast.
Yep.
Yeah, what's your record on that, Jay? You've got you always mention your record, don't you, at the beginning? What you guys do?
We've been doing the show for 5 months, and we're up just over 200 units.
Jesus. Wow.
And that's why he can splash on Amanda Nunes.
Yeah,
that's right, my friend.
Exactly. Oof, I know. I can only imagine what your bankroll must be if a couple of units is 7K. But yeah, go join them, please, on Saturday. And I tune in. You're growing as well. The people that join you and watch, and it's a really great show. The Sports Keg. Give it a follow. All right, guys. Thank you so much. At DaveBets there on Twitter, and Jason Paglia. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week.